The Secret Cipher, Chapter 24, Jax. The guard at the museum's entrance was checking people's backpacks and purses. Because the urn of love was so tiny, Pyra had decided to leave her leather bag in the car. We didn't want to be slowed down by any security checkpoints. Tyler paid our entrance fee. The cashier warned us that the museum was closing at 4:30, so we didn't have much time. Ethan grabbed a map off the counter, but it turned out he didn't need it. "Look," I whispered. Ira was walking up the grand staircase as if she knew exactly where to go. "She can feel the urn," I realized. "Go follow her. I'll head into the bathroom. We have to be quick." Ethan handed me his phone. It was 4 o'clock. "Isaac said that the system will be disabled for 15 minutes. If you do it at exactly 4:15, that'll time perfectly with the museum's closing. Do you remember what to do?" "Yes." Then I whispered, "Unlock love with a kiss." "Where shall we meet?" Tyler asked. "Back at the car," I said. "Hurry, Pyra's already upstairs." Ethan and Tyler took off. There was no time to worry, no time to question our plan. "Where's the ladies' bathroom?" I asked the woman at the ticket desk. She pointed the way. As I walked, I repeated the plan over and over in my head. Go into the bathroom, stand close to the back wall, find a Wi-Fi signal, type in the code. "You can do this," I told myself. Unlock love with a kiss. As I got closer to the door, my legs began to feel wobbly. I glanced over my shoulder. No Ricardo, no guards. No one suspecting that the girl heading for the bathroom was going to mess around with the security system. I pushed the door and stepped aside. "Oops, sorry," I said as the door bumped into a woman. "Crud! There was a huge line for the toilets. Why is there always a line? There is never a problem with the men's room. At least that's what Ethan's told me. Do men pee faster? Maybe that should be my next science fair experiment." I squeezed inside. Why had everyone waited until just before closing time? Yeesh! One stall opened. A lady came out. Another lady went in. The line moved an inch. Another stall opened, and the line moved another inch. It was 4:06. "Come on, people!" I wanted to holler. "Hurry up and pee!" At 4:07, my heart began to pound. Why was everyone taking so long? Something had to be done. Two old ladies stood at the front of the line. They were dressed in nice suits and heels and were talking about where they were going to have dinner. One of them wanted seafood, but the other wanted to try a new Thai restaurant. They started to argue. A pregnant lady stood third in line. Would it be totally rude if I asked to cut? Why was I worrying about being rude? The fate of the world was at stake. I thought about Ethan, Tyler, and Pyra. Had they found Aphrodite's head? Were they paying attention to the time? I hoped Tyler wasn't getting distracted by all the ancient art and that Ethan wasn't trying to memorize the map or factoids instead of creating a distraction. At 4:10, I started bouncing on my heels. Another stall opened. The first old lady took a step. "Excuse me," I called in my sweetest voice, the one I saved for Mom when I needed to convince her of something, like letting me go to a comic book festival. "May I cut in line in front of you?" I wiggled. "I really, really can't hold it." "Oh, dear," she said with a worried look. "I know exactly how that feels. Go ahead, sweetie." She stepped aside. "Thanks." Yes, success. I slipped into the stall, then closed and bolted the door. The toilet next to me flushed. Water ran in the sinks. I checked the phone. 4:12. Almost time. I held it up to the wall, searching for the Wi-Fi signal. Where was it? Come on, come on! An announcement blared from somewhere overhead. "The museum will be closing in 15 minutes. Please make your way to the coat check room to collect all your belongings. Once again, the museum will be closing in 15 minutes. Thank you for visiting today, and we hope to see you again soon." My hand started to shake. Where was the signal? Chapter 25. Ethan. Fact. Distraction is a great way to stay calm. I learned that from my counselor. We can control our thoughts by changing our focus. If something makes you nervous, think about something else. When my heart started pounding and I felt like running back to the car, I unfolded the museum map and focused on its intricate design. Do not think about the fact that you are about to steal something, I told myself. Do not think about all the laws you are going to break. Instead, memorize this page of information. "This is the Huntington staircase," I said as Tyler and I followed Pyra. The museum didn't appear to be very crowded. Jax was already in the bathroom. She'd never been good with technical stuff, so it worried me a little that she was the one who was going to disable the security system. She got impatient when things didn't work out the way they were supposed to. That's why she currently didn't own a phone. She'd gotten mad at it because the battery kept dying, so in a fit of frustration, she threw it into the river. If anything goes wrong, please don't throw my phone into the toilet. The artist is John Singer Sargent, I said as we passed beneath a huge domed ceiling that was covered in murals of Greek and Roman gods. Did any of these portraits resemble the real gods? I might have asked that question, but Pyra kept walking as if pulled by a leash. This is the upper rotunda, I said, reading the map. What does Ricardo look like? Tyler asked as he checked over his shoulder. Tall, I said. Skinny. He was wearing black clothes and a fedora. I stumbled as I turned around. Lots of people were staring up at the murals, but there was no fedora in sight. At least, not yet. We took a tight turn into another wing. We passed a couple of Egyptian statues, then a huge marble statue. That's a king named Minkara and his queen, I said, and that's the goddess Juno. Tyler whipped around. I expected him to say something mean and call me factoid boy, but instead he whispered, Good work. Keep pretending to be a tourist. The guards won't suspect a thing. Guards? Forgotten about them. My arms fell to my sides. Sure enough, guards stood in the corners of the gallery. The good news was they didn't appear to carry guns. The bad news was there were a lot of them. I stuck the map in front of my face again. We took a left. This is the Italian Renaissance Sculpture and Decorative Arts Gallery, I said. Is Piper going in the right direction? Tyler asked. Yep, I said. Gallery 211 is up ahead. We took a right and entered another room. That was filled with Greek and Roman artifacts. Only one guard stood in the corner. 4 people were passing through. Pyra had stopped walking and was standing in front of a pedestal. She hadn't needed the map to find Aphrodite's head. I glanced around, my heart pounding in my ears. No, Ricardo. The security guard wasn't paying attention to us. She looked bored. I looked at the clock wall. 4:06. 9 more minutes and the lights would flicker. I sneezed. Oh, please, nose, don't start tingling. It's gone, Pyra said. Huh? A little sign mounted on the pedestal read, Bartlett Head. This was the right place, but the glass case on top of the pedestal was empty. A temporary sign had been taped below, removed for cleaning. Oh no, I said with a groan. We've reached the first obstacle, Tyler said as he folded his arms and stared at the empty case. In a quest story, obstacles almost always come in groups of 3. Every game designer knows that. I didn't point out that we weren't playing a game. It was here, just a moment ago, Pyra said as she walked slowly around the pedestal. The energy remains, as if it left a footprint. I can feel it. Without Aphrodite's head, the plan was ruined. What do we do? I asked. Should we call Jax and tell her it's over? Maybe it was better this way. The urn seemed perfectly safe in Aphrodite's head. Pyra could return by herself and deal with it some other time, and we could go back to living our lives in Chatham. Tyler would spend the summer working in Cyclopsville. Jax would scour garage sales for travel guides, and I could go to the library, sit in a quiet room, and read whatever I wanted. It is not over, Pyra said. She was looking toward the end of the gallery. The energy leads in that direction. It is not far. We have not failed. Her voice was determined, and she wasn't going to give up, which was something else she and Jax had in common. Don't panic, Tyler said. 3 heads are better than 1. We can figure this out. I thought it was 4 heads, I corrected. You kids looking for the Bartlett head? We hadn't noticed the guard. She had moseyed over and had been listening to our conversation. Yes, we all said. She stood with her feet set wide apart and her arms folded. Her hair was pulled into a tight bun. The curator just removed it about 10 minutes ago. What cute little thing. She cleared her throat. The head, that is, not the curator. He's a bit homely, in my opinion. Where is it? Tyler asked. We need to see it. We need to see it immediately, Pyra said. Sorry to disappoint you kids, but the Bartlett head is currently in the maintenance room. Pyra looked toward the hallway. Down there? Yes, but I can't take you in there. It's against the rules. Besides, it's almost closing time. She checked her watch. Yep, 16 more minutes and I'm out of here. Maybe the plan would still work. Do you need a key to get into that room? I asked, or is it wired into the security system? The guard raised an eyebrow and looked at me as if I were up to some kind of mischief, which I was. Had that question been too obvious? Had I blown it? Was she going to call for backup or throw us out? We're writing a report for school, Tyler said, about the museum. That's why we're asking so many questions. He smiled politely at her. She relaxed her expression and nodded. Kids are always coming here to write reports. If you ask me, they give out too much homework these days. The door is wired into the security system. An alarm will sound if I try to take you in there. Sorry. You'll have to apply to our educational department if you want to get a private, behind the scenes tour. An announcement filled the gallery. The museum will be closing in 15 minutes. Please make your way to the coat check room to collect all your belongings. Once again, the museum will be closing in 15 minutes. Thank you for visiting today, and we hope to see you again soon. Time was up. It didn't matter now if Jax was successful or not. The urn of love was behind a locked door, and there was no way we could. Pyra groaned and grabbed her stomach. I am not well, she said. I feel dizzy. Then she tumbled forward. Tyler tried to catch her, but it was too late. She bumped against the guard and collapsed to the floor. Then she lay on her side, moaning. I dropped the map. What was going on? Was this some sort of godly intervention? Had Zeus decided to punish her already? Pyra? Tyler said, kneeling next to her. What's wrong? She squeezed her hands into fists. It hurts! The pain is unbearable! Tyler darted to his feet and pleaded with the guard. Why are you just standing there? Call someone! Get some help! The guard looked just as shocked as the rest of us. One moment, Pyra just seemed perfectly well. The next, she was on the floor writhing. The guard pulled a walkie-talkie from her belt. Joe, we have a medical emergency in Gallery 211. Hurry! Pyra curled into a ball, her face clenched in agony. Though my mind was spinning, I stood frozen in place. We'd learned basic first aid in health class, but that was in case someone had a heart attack or drowned. We'd never learned what to do if a Greek god imposed some kind of magical punishment. The security guard rushed into the next gallery, calling for more help. I knelt beside Pyra. What can I do? I asked. Should I run downstairs and get Jax? Should I get some water? A blanket? She stopped moaning, looked at me, and winked. She was faking? Go get the urn, she said. Tyler handed me his phone. Go! Why had we even bothered to make a plan if we were going to turn it completely upside down? I was supposed to be the distraction. She was supposed to get the urn. Then, as the guard returned with another guard, Pyra started moaning again. I backed away as the two guards rushed to Pyra's side. Her groans turned to screams. She was a pretty good actress. No one was looking at me. Tyler told the guards that his girlfriend might be having a seizure. Then he shot me a look that clearly said, Go! I'd failed to create a distraction in time, so Pyra had taken over that role. Now it was up to me to steal the urn. Ethan Hotch, the kid who got nervous in crowds, the kid who needed allergy shots, the kid who always got nosebleeds in stressful situations. Nose, don't fail me now. I turned and ran from the gallery until I found the door. Maintenance room, entry prohibited, alarm will sound. Tyler's phone read 416. Over in Gallery 211, Pyra was still putting on her performance. No one was watching me. But I couldn't open the door until Jax disabled the system. My fingers twitched, waiting for the moment when the phone rang or the lights flickered. Jax, what are you doing?